What's the deal? This is Loch once again at Loch121, LOCH121. Subscribe to my channel, like, comment, share, all of that. Check out the links in my description. But yes, Better Call Saul. We at the halfway mark, episode 5. So let's get into this real live trapping Better Call Saul. So you see Chuck, it's a flashback. Chuck is having work done on his house. And Saul, being the great brother he is of course helping direct the work. And they don't want the worker to do something and go in the attic. Like, what they got in the attic? A dead body? I don't know. I guess they know they're not using electricity. So whatever he was trying to get up in the attic for is unnecessary. So then you see that Chuck is having a dinner with his wife or whatever. Now, I guess you see later on, this is his ex-wife at this point. And what's crazy is he was talking about how the electricity was off because something got mixed up with the addresses of 215 and 251 or something. And it's funny because that's what this whole situation with Chuck and Jimmy is about switching numbers. So the thing is that he already has this electricity issue where he, freaks out about electricity, but he's not telling his wife, his ex-wife. So Chuck lied to his wife, about something. Oh, okay. Jimmy said, lying is worse. Something about the bigger the lie, the worse it is, or something. And Chuck was like, he's not going to tell her the truth or whatever. So I guess it was about his electricity issue. So they eat. The wife, Jimmy, and Chuck have dinner in this dark house with candles, and he plays it off, like something got mixed up. And apparently, she is some kind of musician. I guess she's on tour. Maybe she's in the orchestra, and they start reminiscing or whatever. And then she's tripping off of Jimmy being an actual lawyer now and all of this stuff, and because she kind of she always liked Jimmy. So she gets a call. She gets a call um, from her conductor or whatever, right? And when she gets the call from the conductor, of course, Jimmy starts bugging out. So he's up there trying to contain himself and act like he's not bugging out, but he's over there. He is bugging out. Like Jimmy, I mean, not Jimmy, Chuck is bugging out when when Andre calls or whatever. So, and Jimmy is in the kitchen just looking like this is gonna be a disaster. So Chuck goes in the kitchen trying to escape her, and she goes in the kitchen, I think looking for a pen or something. And Chuck is he's going through it. And so all of a sudden he just slaps the phone out of her hand. You know what I'm saying? Because he just can't take it no more. So he slaps the phone right out of her hand, and then he make up the excuse that he slapped it out of her hand because it's rude to talk on the phone around people or whatever. And so then she leaves. She's like, I'm gonna get a cab. It'll be easier. Um, and then Jimmy like, why didn't you just tell her that you're a maniac who thinks you're allergic to electricity? And he refuses. So boom. So I'm wondering, why did they break up in the first place though? Like, was it the early stages of the electricity thing? Is it because Chuck is an asshole? I don't even understand how a lawyer and musician could even get along. Those are just opposing people, period. But hey, whatever. So Saul goes to the pet shop guy. I don't know who the pet shop guy is. Like, what is his name? He seems to have all the connects though. So, and he asks about getting somebody who could be a pickpocket, basically. And he words it different, but he's like, I need somebody with a light touch. So he asks him, does he need to fit in a tight place? And Saul was like, no, or Jimmy or whatever. And so I'm thinking, are they talking about Huel? Because Huel is a big dude. But if you recall, Huel is who pickpocketed Jesse Pinkman for the ricin cigarette that he thought um, the kid had got poisoned with. And then I'm trying to think, he figured it out. What, on the last season he figured it out? And he was mad as shit. So, okay. But anyway, we don't get to that till later. But yes, I thought that, yeah, it was Huel Lavelle Crawford right then and there when he said the tight spot thing. So Kim, I guess she had some kind of hearing or something with those clients that this case is about. So Kim tells the clients about Chuck and Jimmy's, problem and the case with Jimmy and all that. And, about Jimmy changing the address on the docs of the case. And basically the husband is like, look, you a great lawyer and we don't care what happened and we about to go have dinner. Fuck what they got going on. It's basically she gets a call. Basically, what he said. I had turned my video on by mistake. So, the wife asks. The husband walks away, and the wife asks, "Though, is this McGill thing gonna be a problem?" And Kim says it won't be, and it has nothing to do with Mesa Verde or whatever. So Mr. Alley, I guess is Chuck's lawyer or whatever. So Mr. Alley talks with Chuck at the courthouse about making the courtroom ready for his condition and turning the lights off and taking cell phones from people. And only a red exit sign is on in the room. So I was wondering, like, is Chuck gonna die or something? Why are they focusing on that red exit sign? So I knew that the exit sign would play a part. So Howard doesn't want Chuck to testify because he basically like, Chuck, you shouldn't have been slipping enough for Jimmy to be able to switch the paperwork and switch the address, and because you crazy and allergic to electricity, that's why this happened, and you shouldn't take the stand. And Chuck says he's testifying and he wants Jimmy's license. He wants him disbarred. He don't want just no year suspension. He wants him out of here. You know. Kim and Jimmy go to court, and the lawyer reads off the charges and say, they want to disbar him. And Kim admits Jimmy broke into Chuck's house, and but she says Chuck is an asset to the legal community. That's neither here nor there, but all right. So Howard testifies, and he's like, bang, bang, bang. That was funny. Talking about Jimmy coming in and taking the tape and how he feared he'd strike his brother and all this stuff. So then Kim has to question Howard, and this is awkward because Howard used to be her boss. So Howard says, Kim asks what he thinks of Jimmy. And Jimmy, he says that Jimmy had, get up and go and was a hard worker, and tells how, Jimmy became a lawyer secretly and didn't tell anybody. And that, it was Chuck who didn't want Jimmy to be an associate. But first he said the partners didn't want Jimmy to be an associate because it would look like nepotism. So Kim points out that The firm is called Hamlin and McGill, and she's like, "Who's the other Hamlin?" And Howard is like, "Well, his father." So basically, like, it was Chuck who didn't want Jimmy to be a partner, an associate. I mean, so we know Chuck was blocking his brother. And so then Kim talks about how, Jimmy takes care of his brother and all that. And asked about Chuck leaving for mental illness, FMLA leave, and they shut Kim down and says his mental illness has nothing to do with it. So then they bring out the tape. And while the tape is coming out, they bringing out the stuff. Jimmy asks Fran, why she's still there, and says, she says the flight is delayed, and yeah, for 40 minutes. And I'm thinking they're talking about Hugh. So Jimmy stalls by saying they need a review. So Chuck practices his testifying, and he compares his brother to Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. And he like, I love my brother, but Ted Kaczynski's brother loved him too. Wow. So he did it, and then they play the recording, and you hear Jimmy saying how he did it for Kim because she deserved the Mesa Verde case or whatever. So my theory was wrong. They didn't change the tape, and it sounds bad. Jimmy straight up said he did it. And it's Chuck's word against his. But there is an out because the whole case, Jimmy is saying he was just telling Chuck that because Chuck was so sick at the time. So when Chuck comes, they turn off the lights, take everybody's phone. Jimmy says that he left his phone in the car. So then you see Chuck coming into the courtroom, and guess who we see? Hugh LeVar bumps into Chuck. So I'm thinking he pickpocketed him like Jesse with the ricin. But I'm thinking also maybe he put something on him. That thought did pop in my brain. No lie. So, because I was like, what could he take from him that would be beneficial? So Chuck testifies, and Mr. Alley asks, what did Jimmy do? And he talks about how he changed the address so they would go back to Kim's clients. And they show the red exit sign again. And Chuck said he exaggerated his disease to make Jimmy confess, which is basically the opposite of what Jimmy is saying. He lied because Chuck was going to go crazy if he didn't, but he was lying. That's what's funny about this. Jimmy is totally lying. He really did it. So anyway, he talks about his condition. Mr. Alley asks about the condition, asks if a doctor diagnosed him. It's called EHS, electromagnetic hyposensitivity, and compares it to peanut allergies and AIDS, saying the doctors didn't know what AIDS was at first, and asks if it affects him thinking clearly. And he says, no, it's a physical thing. It's not a mental thing, right? Which it definitely is a mental thing. So anyway, so he asks, does he hate his brother? And he says no, but his actions and his have consequences. And he says he wants to protect the law and he holds it sacred. He says, Jimmy isn't malicious, but he makes terrible things almost honorable, which he does. And I believe this is where he says the title of the show, chicanery, which is trickery for financial, economic, and legal gain. So I guess that would be Jimmy in this case. But also it would be kind of Chuck, because he did, I guess, fool Jimmy into thinking he was still sicker than he was, possibly. So, boom. At this point, I believe that they uh they asked for a break or something. And I'm thinking that Hugh was who was gonna come in, but actually it's his ex-wife. That's what happens. His ex-wife Rebecca walks into the courtroom. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was gonna be Hugh at this point, but it was his ex-wife. So Chuck asked, could he take a breath, take a breather. So they take a little breath. And I'm thinking Rebecca is there to testify, but she isn't. Basically, Jimmy called and told about Chuck's condition and sent pictures of the house to her. So that's what Mike was doing. I'm thinking Mike is trying to steal the tape or something to edit it, and no, they sent these pictures to let Rebecca know how insane Chuck is with all this foil all around the crib and this issue with the electricity and all that stuff. So she offers to stay a few days and she wanted to spend some time with with Chuck and all that. So I'm like, Jimmy is slick, man. Slipping Jimmy. So, and Kim says that she'll hate Jimmy when this is over. And Jimmy says, yep, I guess. So then they show Chuck on the stand, and Jimmy starts to question Chuck, and he asks how he recorded it, and asks how could he record it if the electricity messes with him, and he says how the recorder must have hurt Chuck, and he says it was under a space blanket, out of sight, and he tells him to tell them what the house looked like, and he explains all the foil and stuff around the house, and the shiny plastic and all this stuff. So Jimmy calls it entrapment because he had tin foil everywhere, and Chuck says he was playing up his condition. So Jimmy pulls up pictures of his house, and he asks if a doctor said it was a physical ailment, and the lawyer objects, and then Jimmy says, basically that they opened the door for that already when they called it a physical thing and left it there and all of that, and asked about the clear mind and everything. So Jimmy said basically that Chuck hates him and he lied to him to make him feel better. Jimmy says that he lied to Chuck to make him feel better, which in a way he did, but he wasn't lying. He told the truth about him lying about switching the stuff to make him feel better. So he says Chuck, he opened the door by saying, he was play acting to allow him to, go ahead with this questioning to understand the mind of Charles McGill. And the judge, he says, you can do it, but watch yourself. I just thought of mystical. Watch yourself. So I know what you're working with. So Jimmy says that Chuck's issue started after the divorce and asked if the stress of the divorce caused it. I don't even know how that correlates, but hey, maybe, I don't know. Or maybe Chuck was already going through it and that led to him acting weird around his wife. I don't know, but they said it was after. So he says that Jimmy made her come. This is what Chuck says, that Jimmy made her come to rattle him and break him down like a murderer confessing on the Perry Mason episode. And says he was suffering and concealed the disease, and says Jimmy wanted to out him in front of her because he knows that he has feelings for his ex-wife. And he's like, well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Jimmy. He sounds like a super villain. So Jimmy asked if he had lung cancer or something else. Lung cancer, of course, reminds me of Breaking Bad, Walter White. Would he tell Rebecca then? And he like, I think he was like, yeah. So Jimmy asked, what it feels like when this stuff happens, and he asked about the exit sign. And this is when I knew the exit sign was important. And basically what Chuck says is if it's a low current and it's far away and has a small battery or whatever, it doesn't really affect him. So Jimmy asks if he knows where the nearest source is. And Chuck asks if he has something in his pocket. And he says, Chuck, should feel it, but doesn't. So Chuck, what happens is Jimmy pulls out his phone and Chuck looks at it and it has no battery. So I'm knowing right now Huel put the battery into Chuck's pocket somewhere. So yeah, Chuck looks at the phone, says there's no battery, so that's why he doesn't feel it. And then Jimmy like check your pocket, your breast pocket. By this time, Huel had came into the room at some point too, and the battery is in there. And he says, Huel planted the battery an hour and 43 minutes ago. Well, actually, he was like an hour and a half ago, and Huel was like an hour and 43 minutes ago. So basically, he like, your issue is no issue. So Chuck, he like, I'm not crazy. He starts wigging. He swapped the numbers, which he did. But Chuck is also crazy. And Chuck says, he knew Jimmy did it. And then he just starts wigging about how Jimmy shitted through a sunroof and gave what's that, a Chicago sunroof or something? And something about the billboard where somebody orchestrated falling from the billboard and says, Jimmy will never change, which he won't. But he couldn't keep his hands out the cash drawer. And the parents was like, not my Jimmy. And he like, I should have stopped him when I had the chance. And you have to stop him. What does Chuck mean? He should have killed him as a child. What does that mean? So everybody in the courtroom is just staring at Chuck because he just wigged out and he apologized and said he got carried away and asked if he has anything else. And yeah, he cracked like a Perry Mason episode. And then you see the exit sign just buzzing. We got Huel, man. I'm like, why did Chuck lie about the electricity thing to his ex? Why did they get divorced? Uh, Jimmy, I like the Jimmy mentioning lung cancer. Hooray for lung cancer. Nah, but yeah, shout to that Breaking Bad thing. And yeah, I hope that Chuck gets electrocuted. In the irony. They in the preview, we're gonna get some nacho. We're gonna get some what's my man name? We got Victor and the guy who died. Spoiler alert for people who didn't watch Breaking Bad, who I don't care about. If you didn't watch Breaking Bad, fuck it. But yeah, so the Tyrese and Victor are in the preview. And also you got Nacho, and I believe Mike is bugging out on Nacho. You also see Howard um, talking to Chuck, and he's looking a little bit wilder and crazier. And also you hear what sounds like Kim say Saul Goodman. So I don't know if he had to change his name. I don't know what happened with this case, but it's no way that Saul got disbarred. Unless, it's no way that Saul got disbarred and was able to just change his name and still work in the same city. I doubt you could do that. You know what I'm saying? But he did break. He broke his brother down like Matlock or Law and Order, or Perry Mason. Indeed, he did break him down. We got Huel. We got Fran. We got Gus. We got Hector. Man, we got Tuco. I don't know when Tuco's coming home. Uh, we are definitely getting closer to Jesse Pinkman and Walter White. We're getting close to that trap game. We getting close. We getting close to Breaking Bad. Damn it, and I love it. I love it. So I don't know. I don't really have any predictions like that. I guess Nacho is going to be trying to work with Gus in some manner. Seeing that Nacho isn't around during Breaking Bad, something happens to Nacho. I like Nacho. I don't want him to die, but then I'm like, maybe Nacho is not dead because if you know anything about the connections early on in Breaking Bad, Saul mentions a guy named Ignacio or something. This is on the episode called Better Call Saul. It was the episode where Saul is introduced in Breaking Bad. I believe that is season 2. So yeah. And he said when he gets kidnapped by Walt and Jesse, he said something about, is this Ignacio? No. So he must have jerked somebody named Ignacio, and it sounds like Nacho, like it could be his code. So maybe Nacho isn't dead, but maybe he got Nacho locked up or something, deported, maybe. That would be ironic in the Trump era, America to have Nacho deported or some dumb shit. Um, yeah. So of course Mike is gonna be doing things for Gus. That's gonna happen. Oh, so yeah, I mean, I want to see how is Hector gonna end up in this wheelchair. And I'm thinking, shit. I mean, Gus, I'm trying to think. Gus above poisoning? Gus actually never poisoned anybody. Only Walt poisoned people. So, and I mean, if they shot him or something, I mean, I guess they could shoot Hector, but it seemed like he had a stroke. And that's what makes me feel like it's more of a poisoning kind of thing than a shooting or something like that. Seemed like a shooting would come back to Gus at some point. And so, hmm, hmm, I don't know. I'm sure there's some callbacks or something that I'm missing, but I definitely knew something was gonna happen with that exit sign. I definitely knew that for sure. I'm kind of sick that we didn't see any Gus or Mike, but I guess we'll get Gus and Mike in this next episode, and hopefully we'll conclude this court case and see what the hell is going on with Chuck. This can't be the last we'll see of Chuck. Can't be. But maybe Saul Jimmy just changes his name as some kind of requirement to not get disbarred. In order to not get disbarred, he had to not use the name McGill, maybe. But mm, mm, then I'm definitely wondering what happens to Kim, because she could still be with Saul during Breaking Bad. I mean, during Breaking Bad, but I don't know, man. I don't know if Kim is gonna be with this gangster shit that Saul is into. I don't know, man. I don't know, because I don't. Who is the pet shop guy? I mean, I think that's Mike people who is connecting him with some other jobs and stuff before. You know what I'm saying? But who is that guy? The pet shop guy is the plug for real. Like the pet shop guy is the plug. I'm wondering what's gonna happen with Rebecca also. Will Chuck maybe get back with Rebecca? And because Chuck, man, Chuck, he needs some help. Because then I'm like, right, I'm assuming that Chuck hasn't had sex with a woman in a long ass time. He might just need some pussy. Chuck needs some pussy. He needs something. He needs some milk. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Chuck. God definitely hope that he somehow ironically gets electrocuted or something stupid. Because that would just be great. That would be great. Then that would be great Breaking Bad poetic justice. But yeah, I don't know if I missed anything, but also I think I'm about to start doing little offshoot videos when things come to my mind, other than the overall recap. You know, in case I miss something or somebody comes with a question or a theory or whatever. But follow me at Loch121. That's LOCH121. Check out the links in my description. Subscribe, comment, like, share, all that. Hashtag Loch Viral Munchies. I'm gonna be right back on here with the American Gods review. And it's sad because I watched that show earlier before I watched the show on Sunday in the daytime because Stars airs that in the daytime or whatever. And I still haven't done it, but I'm gonna do it. And I also got some battle rap videos coming out or whatever. I've been slacking on, but I definitely appreciate anybody who's checking it out, subscribing, coming through. I'm gonna keep it coming consistently. And like I said, man, follow me at Loch121 everywhere. That's Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, even my Tumblr. That's even my handle on my Facebook. It's everywhere but here. And soon I'm gonna change this to Loch121, but I promoted Lock Up MCO for years, and I'm trying to slowly go into switching that up. But check out the links in my description. Check out the music, the Globe video coming soon. But definitely, man, I'm amped up. Better Call Saul. We at the halfway mark, and we're getting very close to Blue Magic. Getting very, very close to that Blue Magic. We're gonna see Walter White, man. One of these days, man. Probably the last season, damn near the last scene. But I'm out. Like I said, I will probably be on this thing most of the day, doing American Gods and doing some battle rap news, possibly some hip hop news, and you can check out the Leftovers review I did if you're into that. I definitely love that show as well. So I'm out, man. I'm doped up. I'm about to finish my blunt, set up this American God stream, and probably be back in about 30 minutes to an hour, if that. But yep, peace. Thanks for coming through. Definitely appreciate it. One.